super fun. I want to geek out with you about whiskey, about all this whole process, because I
Sure.
eventually want to do this whole process, which I mean, like with you guys. So I think that'd be super fun.
Yeah.
So Joe, like, how exactly did you get started doing like small batch distillery?
Uh, Pretty much just thought I could do it, and I guess it stemmed from wanting something to share and something to make out of our products. I thought a lot about doing our own beef and different stuff. We have a cattle
Mm,
feedlot, and so it was always fun to share steaks and share, cook and grill for other people, and that seemed like there wasn't really that avenue for grain farmers or for me just personally just to have, you can have a garden, but you can't really, you can serve up uh some peppers and steak and whatever that you can all make, but then you have a whole field of corn and you're just going to take that to the elevator or feed it to cattle. You don't get to eat the corn yourself, or you don't get to really consume it and say, well, that was mine. I made that. And so I thought that was a good avenue to try. Uh, Taking some chemistry classes in college, kind of knew, well, maybe if I can use this stuff, I could probably use it to make alcohol. So there's kind of a thought I could take some of what I learned background and just in general, just cooking and different other things, uh, to be able to take that and make some whiskey. And we did it kind of in the basement or in the garage or whatever, and went from there. Um, and it wasn't bad. And so it was like, well, we should try this again, and maybe we should age it, and kind of couple-year process of just research and development, just a little bit for fun, for just for us. And then we had more people try it, and it was kind of a cool deal. And it's like, well, now we should bottle it and give it away as gifts and stuff like that. And it's like, well, we can put our name on it and make a label. And so it was kind of a pretty novel concept, uh, beginning.
So it sounds like it's been kind of a very clean cut version of Breaking Bad, but in agriculture, where you like had this really cool idea and you started like, hey, let's make like some whiskey so that we can remember these crops. That's awesome. That's really cool. So like, what was the whole learning process like as you're trying to, like figure out like what your best batch is going to be like?
So there's definitely some recipe development, but it's funny now with Google, and there's a million different forums, amateur and professional, on how to make whiskey or how to make beer. That it was kind of just, all right, well, let's pick one and try to run with it and see, well, what can we accomplish without spending a bunch of money. And it's like, well, we have the corn. That's kind of the main part, and then you buy some yeast and you basically make beer, and that's fairly simple. And then you kind of just go from there and try to have all your equipment and keep it safe, and kind of went from there.
So it seems like, what would you say like a majority of the customers are, they're doing it to remember a crop versus people that, like they want to partner with the farmer just to get like a one-off whiskey? Like what's the breakdown there?
Right. So there's there's a lot of different stories, and I guess that's what makes it really cool, really fun, and that's what makes us different um, than any other whiskey company, I guess, because
Yeah.
there's a story behind each batch, and we know that, and we care about each batch individually, because we know we're farmers too, and it's special, and some people are only going to do this once, and it's 6 bottles, and that doesn't always go very far if you have a family of 5 or
Mm.
something like that. Each kid is going to get one for Christmas or whatever. Um, so we take each batch pretty seriously, and I've got some stories here. Just for examples, we had a Andrew Streff from Southeast South Dakota. He did a batch to celebrate his dad's 40 years of farming, which
Oh,
was
that's
pretty
cool.
cool. Um, Had a Cheyenne Sharp from Blue Hill, Nebraska, and this is probably one of my favorites. She was doing it for her wedding, to give to everyone in the wedding and to her family. And it was corn from her grandpa's farm in Lawrence, Nebraska, that was combined by her husband and her grandpa. And then they mixed it with wheat from her husband's farm in Montana. And
Oh,
so at the
cool.
wedding, she presented him with this whiskey that she made from both, the Nebraska and Montana grain together, which I just thought was awesome. Um, some batches are just kind of in jest a little bit that this one Dalton Polreese, he just said his main picture was just to the drought of 2021, just to remember it's not always great, but we can still drink to it and remember the bad years also. Have a lot to celebrate birthdays. There's some that you don't wish you had to do. There's a particular batch early on. A girl's dad had passed away in July of 2019, and they had made whiskey out of the last crop he was able to harvest.
Oh,
and
wow.
that was an awesome way to celebrate him and kind of their farming together, and it was a great way for her and her brothers to kind of get together and kind of put that last harvest behind them. That was really hard for them, but really just awesome ways to commemorate and celebrate in their own way.
Hey everybody, welcome to our DC studio here with Farm Traveler. If you like this video, consider liking. If you want to comment on it, of course commenting, that helps us out a ton. And if you want to see more content on Farm Traveler, how you can connect with farmers, more farm tours, stuff like that, and of course clips from our podcast, hit subscribe. We just crossed over 1,000 subscribers, so thank you all so much. We have new content every week. And of course, our little shorts here, which are, like reels, but on YouTube. So thanks for watching. Check out more videos. We'll see you in the next one.